Hey, good evening, my friends. How are you? Please tell me you can hear me. Right? You can hear me tonight? I think I got the problem fixed. Sean, good evening. Hello, Tommy. Loud and clear. Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. That makes me feel so much better. Jason, you know where I just was? Flew out before the sermon was over. Brian, good evening. Hello, Patrick. Jeff, audio is good. Thank you. Sean says yes. Ruben checking in from Colorado again, the beautiful state of Colorado. Everybody should visit Colorado and the mountains one time or another. Brian, did you get things done this weekend? Dan, Bruce, Randy, Larry at Rabbit Homesteading. Larry, you going to join us in West Branch on the 18th? John says, yes, I can hear you just fine. Loud and clear, Tim says. Jerry's back from Elginak. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you being along with me tonight on this edition of Wednesday Night Live. Ed Bolanowski back with us as well. Ed will be bear hunting with Johnny Bowler, the Bear Whisperer, in a few weeks, and I will be there as well. Tim's chopping corn tonight. Got me on in the tractor. Don't get distracted, Tim. Thanks for listening, but don't get distracted. Although I haven't been in the seat of a tractor for many, many years. And the tractors I used to run when I was a kid, I think are a far cry from what you guys are running these days. For example, we didn't have cabs. We didn't have air conditioning. We didn't have heat. We didn't have GPS. I wish we did. Michelle, good evening. How are you, my dear? Tim, always a pleasure. Skinny Water Tony. His buddy Randy and Tony will be there. And I will look forward to that, Tony. Thank you. Cleaned up the house and the outside, mowed the lawn, tuned up a four-wheeler. Excellent. So you got some work done. Dave says he's busy. Well, Dave isn't busy that night, but his wife says he's busy. Kevin, good afternoon. Good evening. How are you? Kevin, I'm still thinking about the outing we had up at your golf course. It was just really, really nice. Thank you. Uncle Johnny, good evening, buddy. How are you? I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. I look forward to playing that course that we're playing tomorrow, which neither one of us have played before. And if Aaron decides he can join us at the last minute, that would be wonderful too. So it is this the first? I think this is the first Wednesday night. It is the first Wednesday night live of September. How cool is that? Johnny Bowler, there he is. Johnny Bowler, the Bear Whisperer. Why do I call him the Bear Whisperer? Because when he baits them, the last thing he does as he's leaving the bait, he says, "Come here, bear. Come into this bait. Follow my voice. Come see me. I am the Bear Whisperer." That's why I call him the Bear Whisperer. Hey, Jim. How are things in Tennessee? Linda, indeed, I can feel it. I was looking at the weather forecast for Saturday, like a high of 59. Brian says 5 trail cameras up Sunday, lots of buck picks, a 4-point, all rubbed off. Cool. Good evening, Mike. How are you? Another Mike. Good evening. Brent, BAS Custom Rods. How are you? Mike says, getting excited for your bear hunt? I am. Extraordinarily excited. The only potential fly in the ointment is my daughter is getting ready to have a baby. Now, if she's a good girl, and if that new baby is a good boy, they will wait till after my hunt with Johnny Bowler, the Bear Whisperer. But Johnny is well aware of this, and Johnny and I both agree that family comes before a bear hunt. So my main priority will be meeting my new grandson, and then I will go hunt with Johnny. And Johnny gets it. Johnny's a family man. James, good evening. Howdy. How are you? Joel checking in from Millington. I get it, Larry. 3 hours, 15 minutes. Would love to, but can't with work. I get it. I get it completely. Johnny's Johnny says it only took 12 minutes. He sent me pictures. He was out there baiting. In fact, I got to remember to post those. He sent me pictures of him baiting. What you don't see is him turning around going, "Come here, bear." But he said it because 12 minutes later, a bear came in on camera. Kevin, good evening. How are you? Okay, James, this is fascinating to me. Walleye from the shore with that weather probably next week. You talking Erie? You talking Saginaw Bay? You talking Lake Huron? Where are you? Because the idea of surf casting for walleye is something I haven't done in a long time, and that would be a riot. Corey, good evening. Good luck on the MWT tournament this weekend. There's also an NWT, as you know, tournament on Lake Huron and Saginaw Bay. Jordan Hoover. Jordan, can I tell people what you want to do, Jordan? Is that a secret? Can I talk about it? Tora Grossa says, hang on to your snowblower. We need a good hard winter to knock down the weed growth from the past season. What does Tora Grossa know? Honestly, what does he know? Francis checking in from Rose City. I got you, Linda. I got you. Championship. Good luck, Corey. David, good evening. How are you? Dean, nice to have you along with us. I'm waiting to see. Mike, good evening. If Jordan will let me talk a little bit about what's going on there. If not, Jordan, I get it. It's completely fine. No big deal. Oh, and look what I got here. I should turn it around. Craig, Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation. I appreciate that, James. That's a tip of the thumb. Thank you. That's very, very interesting. Bob Keatsman, good evening. Roger, good evening. Jordan says, go ahead. Jordan wants to be on the NRC, the Natural Resources Commission. In fact, Jordan asked me to write a letter of recommendation to the governor. I was happy to write the letter. I didn't like the process of starting a letter with Dear Governor or Dear Governor Whitmer. I think Jordan would be an excellent commissioner. I really do. Okay, try this. The Farmer's Almanac says a warm, dry winter. There you go, Linda. You can either go with science, the young guy, although he's not so young anymore, Tora Grossa, friend of mine, or you can go with old wives' tales and folklore. I'm going to go with the warm, dry winter. Angie, how are you? Gus, right back at you, my friends. It's my birthday today. I'm 35. Stay safe badge. Well, happy birthday, John. I don't know what stay safe badge means. Lisa, hunters and fishermen need to make sure they are registered to vote. Protect our hunting and fishing tradition. Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. Please vote. I'm not going to tell you how to vote, but please vote. Jim, my season starts the 25th. If there is no new baby, I will go up there the 24th. If a new baby is imminent or a new baby is just being born, I will wait and go up a couple of days later. Mark says 1 week out till bear season. He's ready. I wish all my friends here who have a bear tag good luck to you. Early fall feel. There's no doubt about it. Pat says, what is winter? Never heard of it. Kind of hard to remember, isn't it? Eric, good evening. Hey, Johnny, that's interesting. If we have 2 warm, dry winters, they'll see how bad the wolves are. Are you saying, Johnny, I want to make sure I understand. I know that winters affect, or according to the DNR, winters affect whitetails. The severity of the winter does. Does it impact wolves as well? Has Johnny told you how big your bear is? He has tied up for me. He has sent me pictures of the bear, and I'm actually feeling quite sorry for the bear because you can literally see a chain around the bear's neck, and it runs to a tree near the bait. Now, the bear has plenty of food. because Johnny wants to fatten him up and make him even bigger. But I just feel really sorry for the bear that Johnny has chained up for me. And anybody who thinks I'm serious, please, I'm not serious. I'm absolutely kidding. You know what? I thought that too, Dave. The leaves on the trees seem to be changing early around here in Saginaw. I'm seeing it in my part of the state as well. I'm just north of you. And I've asked the question, and the consensus is in an average year, if there is such a thing, it's the length of daylight that'll trigger the leaves to turn. You Two other things that can get them to trigger are bugs, insects, infestation, and stress. It's been really dry lately, and I think that's what is going to. I think that is what is making them change early. James says I'm going to be a little vague here, but I'll email you the specifics. Last year I had 60 fish in 10 trips. That's 6 fish a trip, if my math is correct. 89 in 12 trips. You just have to stick it out until they show up. Might be 15 minutes after dark, might be midnight. Aha. Now, James, I'm not telling your secrets because you haven't told me, but what I see in my mind is you casting stick baits off a pierhead after dark. Excellent. Linda says, okay, Mike, I'll go with science. We'll put a fat bottom Betty on the line. All right, Linda, you're on. Although I did discover a new cigar. I was in there just yesterday, and it was another Drew Estate. I can't think of the name of it. It was one of their funny names, but it was a torpedo-shaped cigar. And I normally don't like torpedo-shaped, but it was a very good cigar. Scott says, boats all winter long. The fact that there's still not many deer after one easy winter should prove that already. The chained up bears taste better. They do, but they make it really hard for pictures because when they've rubbed all their fur off around their neck, you got to pose them just right so you don't see that there's no fur on their neck. Ed says, man, you guys are putting a hex on yourself. The truth of it is, Ed, I would love to shoot a Michigan bear. The reality is, I just want to go bear hunting. Just want to see a bear. I love bears. I love being in the woods with bears. I love the close interaction of bears. I love seeing bears. I just like bears. I'd love to shoot a Michigan bear. If I don't, but Johnny, I will do my best. Teddy Roosevelt's teddy bear story. Quick question for you pop-up blind deer hunters. How long do you put your blind up, or do you put it up and hunt? I've done both. All right. Me? You're asking me, Brian? I'm telling you, I'll put it up as early as I can. I'll put it up now and I'll leave it. That is for deer hunting. For bear hunting and turkey hunting, I'll put it up in the morning and kill an animal over it that afternoon. In it. No problem. Mickey, how are you? Eli says, I like dusk and dawn fishing. Nothing wrong with that. Lisa checking in. Mike, the drawdown to Cornwall flooding in the Pigeon River Forest has began so the dam can be replaced. The people donated the money when the state dropped the ball. So, Lisa, this sounds like a success story, and it sounds like a story where people made the difference, just general Joe Blow people. Congrats on that. I know you've done a wonderful job in keeping that issue on people's minds. Johnny says, Ed's bear is so small you don't need a chain to keep him there, just a bottle of milk. Jordan says, we're betting cigars now. I'm in. Jordan, you get on the NRC, and I'm buying you whatever cigar you want, buddy. Chris checking in from Kansas. Going to send me some pictures of the small bucks. Why do I have a feeling you're just pulling my leg, Chris, when you say Kansas and small bucks? JT, how you doing, buddy? Hey, JT, did you wrap up your salmon season? Are you done now? And what kind of a season was it? Yes, sometimes the pierhead, sometimes off the beach or inside a river mouth. You have my attention, James. 2%. Help me out. Jason says he just finished a fat bottom Betty himself while cutting the grass. Jason, I did not know you were a cigar aficionado. I knew you were a good man. That makes me like you even more. Tommy, still waiting to get my first bear hunt in the next couple of years. What area, Tommy? What season? Because I'm going to tell you right now, if you've got like 5 or 6 points in, you might as well wait until you can get first season. If you're just getting started, if you just got 1 or 2 points, next year put in for third season and you'll get it. Hey, Lee, how are you? Jordan, I'm seeing loads of fawns this year in the Northwest UP. So if the wolves are responsible for deer numbers, and most would argue we have more wolves this year than last, then explain the coincidence of a mild winter and a great fawn crop. I'll wait. Eric, I love watching bears and hunting them. Interesting animal for sure. They are far more interesting to me than whitetails ever were. Tim puts his up on September 15th. My bear season is the third season. It starts September 25th. Hey, Scott. You know, I should. I should go to Oswald's. It's not too far from Newberry. I should just swing by there. Hey, Scott, what did you think? And this lead me to some other points here, so I don't waste all of our time. What did you think of the video of the prototype angler quest? Pretty sweet, huh? Hey, Ken, good evening. Another Trinity brother. How are you? Bears are hungry. Big one showing up in the Yoop. Ed says a small bear is a tender bear. Harry Smith, a man who I have known forever. Harry, 57 years-ish. What number would you put on it, Harry? And how you doing, buddy? Stephen, one of the postings on bear hunting showed up a ground blind that was torn up from the top of the blind. There was a few responses that said to leave the door open so the bear just goes in and sees and leaves. But do you not leave it in your blind because it's gone? I disagree with leaving the door open. If a bear wants to see your blind, and believe me, I have had many. I'm checking a setting here. I have had many shift videos up. Videos up. I've had many close encounters with bears, not eating my blinds, not ruining my blinds every time, but biting on them, shredding them. They are just curious. But the thought of leaving it open so a bear can get in there, if a bear wants in, he's going to get in. Bill Piles, evening, big fella, from Maine. Bill sent me a picture. Bill, is it okay if I post that tomorrow? Bill sent me a picture of a big bear that he shot in Maine. Now, Bill, you'll know, is Bill Piles of Ohio Bow Hunting Outfitters, ohiobowhuntingoutfitters.com. And he's a hardcore whitetail hunter, but the guy loves to hunt bears as well. I can respect that. Baldwin, 9 points. Hang in there, Tommy, because your next couple of years, you're going to get one, I think. With all the issues with tournaments banning or limiting live scope, I wonder if the DNR will look to ban live scope. I don't know. And if we did, would it be some NRC commissioner who gets a wild hair and just decides to go that route? I wouldn't know a natural resources commissioner if he walked in the door of my office right now and introduced himself. I wouldn't know him. I don't know any of them. I'm not a fan of what the group as a whole has been doing. Now, I understand, we're talking with my friends at MUCC and DNR, that there are some of the commissioners who are top-notch. So I don't want to talk poorly about all the commissioners because I know we have a couple of them, at least on our side. But I feel like the rest of them probably should be replaced. Not get rid of the NRC as a whole. Just get a fresh batch. Leave the ones that we have that are doing well, doing a good job for us, and get some new ones. Aha, James. Had a great season. First year chartering salmon. Couldn't be happier with the fish we caught. My boat is home now, getting ready to go back to the bay. Oh, you are going back to the bay. Excellent, JT. You know, they are goofballs. Johnny has sent me some pictures of bears up on their hind legs. It's always interesting to see a bear stand up. I've had him do that. I've watched him do that. We hung a beaver carcass in a tree in Ontario one time, way up off the ground, and the bear had to get up on his hind legs. That was pretty cool. Why are you at the SVRC marketplace, Joe? Tell me what that is. Apparently, I don't understand what it is. I thought it was something other than what you're saying. Evening, David. All right, Dave. Another David says, hope to get a bear come in during shooting time in the third season. That's the challenge, isn't it? That the third season, because by then things have changed. And if you got hound hunters in your area, could be harder. John's starts the 14th next week. Segment of the deer in the UP on Michigan Outdoors tomorrow night. Love Michigan Outdoors. Bears are good. 5th grade. So what would that put us at, Harry? Whoops, where'd we go? Nothing but food and a lot of time. Why does I keep hitting the wrong button as my grandson would? The AQ video was the bomb. More exciting stuff coming too. I've had several calls wanting to know how soon they will be available at dealers. Buzz is good. Brad says in his video, they'll be available in November. Thank you, Harry. Appreciate that. Eric says, I always leave my door open to the blind, but they go in and out any direction. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Bill Piles. I'm looking forward to my hunt. Actually, I think they had the chair. Baird, is that the chairman? I think Jimmy had the chairman of the NRC on. How did that go, Craig? I haven't watched it yet. Good evening, Steve. Another Trinity brother. Hey, Steve, how did your perching go? Gary checking in from Cedar Rock. Speaking of my old stomping ground, third season is a tough hunt. It is. Jordan's going to be on Michigan Outdoors tomorrow night. Can I assume it's talking about the DMI and the NRC? Good advice, Harry. Mark checking in. How are you? Mark, it was great to see you in West Branch. Steven said, if you get one in the third period, you've earned it. Good luck. When I hunted with Johnny, that wasn't third season, was it? Yeah, it can be a tough one, but I'm hunting with Johnny Bowler, the Bear Whisperer. Nick Grillo of Michigan Brand Meats, michiganbrand.net. Use the promo code Mike20, get 20% off. Watching live on YouTube at this moment. Hey, Nick, thank you, Nick, for checking in, which gives me an excuse to quit shooting the breeze here and get on to some of the topics at hand. I'll start with the rundown for this weekend's Outdoor Magazine radio show. My first guest this week is this guy right here, Nick Grillo of Michigan Brand. He joins me to talk about jigging for salmon. Nick has had some extraordinary days in the last couple of weeks. He talks about that. He talks about his passion for the outdoors. He talks about Michigan Brand. And he talks about how if you get wild game this fall, you can take it into Michigan Brand and they will make it into jerky, sausage, ham, but you can't take in a carcass anymore. You have to take in deboned meat to the Michigan Brand plant in Bay City, and they can process it for you. Also, speaking of Michigan Brand, Nick can't join us for our Wednesday Night Live 2 weeks from tonight at the LumberJack Restaurant, but he is gracious and generous as always, and he is sending me north with some Michigan Brand products to give away. Nick, appreciate that, buddy. You're one of the good guys. Also in the first hour, Jason Garvin of the Michigan Wildlife Council. I may or may not talk more about that tonight. We'll see how time is going. Second hour, Harry Howland of Maniac Outdoors talks about mock scrapes and licking branches. Then Steve Wyndham from MUCC, the Ask Avery question. I talk about the youth hunt and how this is the last year for it being bucks or does, and how next year is slated to go to does only. But I remember a conversation or a comment that Amy Trotter of MUCC made here on Wednesday Night Live last week when she said, don't be surprised if that gets revisited and possibly changed. And in our third hour, Jeff Poet of Jay's Sporting Goods talks about a hunt he just got back from in Greenland for muskox. He talks about Jay's Sporting Goods, the history of Jay's, what the future might hold, and he talks about Ed Bolanowski. He talks about upland bird hunting in Michigan over setters. Although I think you're a GSA German short hair guy. And of course, we wrap it all up with wild game chef extraordinary Dixie Dave Miner. This time it is a goose stir fry. Now, I got you by about 2 months is all, Harry. All right, Johnny. Talk to you later, buddy. Dan's looking forward to it. Slow today, better luck tomorrow. It's always better tomorrow, isn't it? Steve, you and I have been fishing long enough that it was always better yesterday, or it's going to be better tomorrow. Went well, but not much insight into decision making. Craig is talking about the conversation with NRC Chairman Baird, I believe, of Jimmy Gretzinger with Jimmy Gretzinger at Michigan Out of Doors last week. Hey, Mike, good evening. How are you? One tip for casting fall eyes is a slow retrieve and slower and slower. I watch the people next to me make a few casts, 3 to 4 casts to my one. If they aren't on the front hooks, slow down. James, let me ask you this. This is a very interesting topic that you're talking about. Would you be willing to join me on the radio show if we just talk in generalities, not specifics? We don't give up honey holes. We don't give up where you're fishing. I love the concept of casting for fish because anybody can do it. You don't need a big expensive angler quest or something else. Anybody can do it. If so, James, if you would be willing to join me, I would love to talk to you. You're obviously very knowledgeable on this. Would you please send me an email to mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com, mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com, and let me know if you would be willing and available to join me next week to record a couple of segments for the radio show, and I appreciate that. Third and final of the deer management series on Michigan Outdoor. And you know what? I understand that deer management in Michigan is a huge topic and it has to be discussed. But you know what I think of deer management? That's what I think of it. It bores the snot out of me. Dan, good evening. Yes, Mike, thank you. I was getting to that. There are still openings at the Wednesday Night Live. That is 2 weeks from tonight at the LumberJack Restaurant in West Branch. We do still have some openings. Because of the timing of this event, I didn't want to do it today, so close to Labor Day. I surely don't want to do it next week on 9/11. I'm not going to get people to come together and celebrate on 9/11. So that left us with 9/18. The hunting seasons have already opened on the 18th. Several of our regular several of our regular friends who join us at these events can't make it because of commitments. So we do have openings. 989-343-0892, 989-343-0892 for reservations. Here's who's going to be there with us. Brad Dupuis, Mr. Angler Quest. Rich Krazan of Killer Food Plots. The Taggett family from Wreck Broadheads. Steve Wyndham of MUCC. Andy Weiss of Truck Trolley. Chris Durson of Rapid River Knives cannot join us, but he's giving me a little something to give away to you. Nick Grillo of Michigan Brand can't make it, but he's giving me a little something to give away to you. And I will also have a Primal blind there with me to give away. I don't think it'll be one of the new harvesters. I'm actually having a hard time getting my hands on a harvester. I had one and gave it away for our golf outing. Should have kept my hands on it. But maybe it'll be a Wraith, and that Wraith is a wonderful blind. 989-343-0892. Mike, the Rapid River knife that you got, is that the one that folds shut and you can have them engrave the blades? I have 3 of these now, okay? This is my kind of my everyday carry. And actually, I do not have this one engraved, but this one can be engraved. I believe all Rapid River knives can be engraved. This is kind of my daily carry. I have a very, very nice woolly mammoth tusk handle one that Chris says, use it, just use it. But I'm kind of reluctant to use something so special. And then I have one of their mini Yoopers that, every once in a while you find yourself in a situation, at least I do, where I don't want to advertise that I got a knife in my pocket, a pretty good sized knife, and then a pocket, clip sticking out of my pocket. So I put that little mini Yooper down deep in my pocket. Nobody knows that I have it. RapidRiverKnifeWorks.com. Use the promo code Avery10 and get 10% off. Hey, James, how are you? Mike, I've been holding out for a good deal on a crossbow. Think I just need to go to Jay's and leave it to the professionals to find the best bow for me at a good price. Mike, I can't argue with that. Here's what I would do. There's Andy right there. I'll talk about Andy more in a minute. Here's what I would do, Mike. I'd go to Jay's and I would look at one of their bows from last season or possibly even 2 seasons ago. A new bow, but a non-current model year. That's how I got mine. I got my bow. I think it was a couple of years old, brand new, great bow, and I saved a lot of money. Andy Weiss, right here of Truck Trolley. He says, are you stopping at Woods and Water this weekend? Andy, my plan is to come down there Friday. I want to see you. I want to see Paul Perone of VersaSkins. I want to see Rich Krazan of Killer Food Plots. And I want to see Brad Dupuy, Mr. Angler Quest, who is going to be at the Freeway booth. Now, I said Andy's going to join us at the Wednesday Night Live at the LumberJack. I'm looking forward to this because Andy is a new advertising partner of mine, and I'm very excited about their truck trolley. I use that truck trolley literally every day. I think it's a wonderful product, and I'm very happy to promote that product. So Andy's new to the family, so it's going to be nice to have him at one of the Wednesday Night Lives. Andy is also bringing us, he's not bringing us a truck trolley. I don't want to get your hopes up, but he's bringing, I think what we're going to get is a certificate for $100 off on a truck trolley. Plus he's got some other swag. So these things are not that expensive to begin with. So somebody's going to walk away with a certificate to save $100 on a truck trolley that night. So Andy, I look forward to seeing you there, and I hope to see you Friday at the Woods and Water show. Andy will be at Woods and Waters with a truck trolley. Paul Perone of VersaSkins is at Woods and Waters this Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I almost looked like I was genuflecting. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Rich Krazan of Killer Food Plots is there, and Brad Dupuy of Angler Quest, all going to be at the Woods and Water show. And then Saturday, you never know. Maybe something will come up that will prohibit me from going to either one. But my plan is Friday to go to Woods and Waters, and Saturday to go to Grayling to be there for the unveiling of the Fred Bear statue. Life-size bronze statue of Fred Bear. I think that's pretty cool. I'm going to try to make it up there. Harry says, I'm going for the third hunt from now on. You know why, Harry? You know why you guys like you and I have to go for the third season? Because we don't have enough years left in us to wait 10, 12 years for a bear hunt, right? I mean, that's the honest truth. For me, it's, that and the fact that I love to bear hunt so much, I don't want to wait 10 years between hunts. Hey, Eric, do you ship? I'm on the site right now trying to figure it out. Eric who? Rabbit at Homesteading. Larry, I want to help you out. Eric who? We will get you. Eric Gates. I see it. Eric Gates. I see. Do you mean Andy? Hey, Kimmy, how are you? Nice. Chuck checking in. How about the what? You just missed it, Emil. I was just talking the hell out of it. Thank you, James. I would think so, Craig. Thank you, Tony. I'll get back to all these, but I think what's happening is somebody's asking if Andy ships, and Andy does. So let's please come back to that. But I got a lot of comments here that I want to get back to. Emil, I'll talk more about that, but we have been for sure. All right, Chris, have a good night. Jim says, I like the new truck. It's a nice one. It is, and I'm getting it wrapped tomorrow. I went over to Mike Hampton of Mike's Tire Sales last Thursday. I got 34-inch tires put on it. I did not lift the front end this time. And I get it wrapped tomorrow at Sign Image in Saginaw. Emil says, make your calls, leave a message. If no one answers, we'll call you back to confirm. 989-343-0892, 989-343-0892. Been doing this for 40 years now. Excellent, James. I look forward to it. Please send me an email, mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com, so I can make contact with you, so we can follow up. Is it just me, or have prices gotten out of control as far as clothes, bows, arrows, etc.? It's not you, James, but it's everything. Everything. 989-343-0892. Okay, Sue Larson Kierans, who is Chris Durson's right-hand person at Rapid River, says, yes, we can laser any knife. This one I chose not to get engraved, although it's got the Rapid River logo on it. Oh, Sue, I need to talk to you too, Chris said, about getting something from you that we can offer for our Wednesday Night Live. I will follow up, but I suspect you know what I'm talking about. Rapid River Knife Works. Sue, are you going with the rapidriverknifeworks.us or the rapidriverknifeworks.com? You've got a wonderful new website. Where should I send people to? .com or .us? Me too, Tim. Ladies and gentlemen, Ron St. Louis. You want to talk about bear hunting? You want to talk about guys who know bear hunting? The two guys I know who are the best bear hunters I know, Johnny Bowler, the bear whisperer, just left. This guy right here, Ron St. Louis of Northern Wilderness Bear Outfitters in White River, Ontario, Canada. Ron, I understand you had a great season. I will be back with you next year, come hell or high water. Ron, always a pleasure, buddy. How are you? Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate that. Linda says, glad to see you supporting the truck trolley guys. I could never get along without mine. Once you have one, Linda, isn't it like, I agree with you. It's like, how did I ever get by without one? Had a great bear season. Excellent. That's what I have, Tim. I have a 10-point decocking crossbow. I knew when I got my new bow that it had to have the ability to decock. If Darton, Michigan-based Darton, made a decocking bow, I would have got a Darton, but I wanted a decocking bow. So that's what I got, a 10-point decocking bow. Good evening, Craig. How are you? Danny checking in from Central Ohio. What are you doing down there, Danny? I don't hate the idea of saving money with last year's model. Drop point knife, Rapid River, very nice. Everybody loves Rapid River. Ladies and gentlemen, Art Lewis, broadcasting legend from WSGW. If you have not seen it yet, check out my Facebook page or my Instagram feed, and you will see a picture of this guy right here, Art Lewis, sitting in the radio studio today wearing a Rapid River Knife Works camo hoodie. Those things are sweet. I had one and I wore it out. I wore it so much that it got so dirty and ratty that I just wore it out. I'd love to get another one. I might have to call my good friend Sue and say, Sue, yoo-hoo, Sue. I went deep into as much as I could on Fred Bear. Awesome story. Great man. Glad he's getting a statue. I think Nugent's going to be up there. One of the things, if I run into Uncle Ted, is I have a picture of him and I, the both of us. I have a picture of us from 1992 where I'm standing there like this, and he's next to me with his elbow on my shoulder. Well, it's up on my shoulder. I'd like to recreate that picture. I think it would be pretty cool. Comment was from earlier. Let's not forget small game season. Hand lining for walleye. I knew what you meant. Gotcha, James. Appreciate it. RapidRiverKnifeWorks.com. Thank you, Sue. And you know what? This new website is, I love Rapid River. Obviously, I love Rapid River. I love promoting Rapid River. But what they have done up there in the last 2 years is amazing. The way they have marketed and grown and branded themselves, I'd like to think part of it is because of the exposure that I give them. Maybe I'm giving myself too much credit, but I'd like to think that at least in some small way, I've helped them, but it's their product that has helped them. It is their people that has helped them. And it is people like Sue and people like Chris Durson who have really made that company just skyrocket. Any teal action? Anybody? Anybody teal action? Cliff's working on his Jeep. All right, Johnny, 10:15 tea time. James going to pick me up about 9:30. And I will see you there. Oh, Tim's lovely wife, Stacy, is getting his new bow for him. Stacy, you are a wonderful woman. James, birds flying, but first light, not sitting too many wood ducks around, but just letting them go. Is wood duck season open? James, I thought it was just teal. I don't know. I'm not questioning you. I'm not a waterfowl hunter. I thought it was just goose and teal. I did not realize a season was open for woodies. Art says, I'd let you wear my Rapid River camo, but you might stretch it too much. Probably would. They are sharp. When they come out of the factory, they are sharp as can be. All right, some other things I want to get to. It is just teal and goose. That's what I thought. Okay. Man, tonight flew, didn't it? Today's radio show flew as well. Okay, I talked about who's on the show this week. I talked about my new truck. I get it wrapped tomorrow, and it'll be sweet on that new color. Okay, 2 weeks from tonight, we are back at the LumberJack Restaurant. If you have not joined us, the LumberJack is a wonderful place. It feels like up north. The food is outstanding. The service is great. And we're going to be joined by a great group of people. Call 989-343-0892 for reservations. If nobody picks up, let it ring a long time, and eventually an answering machine will pick it up. Leave your name, the number of people in your party, and a phone number so they can call back and confirm. The live starts at 7 o'clock. Make your reservations for 5:30, 6-ish, so you got time to get in, to get settled in, have a good dinner before we start. 989-343-0892. Some great prizes, some great people joining us. I'd love to have you join us as well. 989-343-0892. And I suspect the LumberJack might throw in a couple gift certificates or something as well, because Emil Rousseau and his crew, Gigi and the whole crew up there at the LumberJack, are wonderful, wonderful people, and I love working with them. Teal are open. Woodies. Oh, I see what you're saying, James. It's teal season. You're seeing some woodies and you're not shooting them. Of course. Gotcha. I got you, James. I got you. Rapid River Showroom is a work of art. Certainly. I got to look at a text from Ron St. Louis. Yeah, that bear might have been eating some berries. Thank you, Ron. Ron sent me a video of them gutting a bear. It's not something I'm going to show online or on anything, obviously, but they cut the stomach open and the berries just come gushing out of the bear's stomach. And still, Ron, because he is the excellent bear guide that he is, was able to lure that bear into a bait so a hunter could take it, even with a berry crop like that. Jason got his reservations. Excellent. Look forward to seeing you there. Emil Rousseau says, you know it. We'll be putting in a couple of certificates. Tommy. I got you, Tommy. You can only do what you can do. Pretty cool, Ron. All right. Mike, my brother, how are you? You tuned in just in time, Mike, for us to call it a night. And you know how we know when it's time to call it a night? It's when you hear this right here. Coming. Or is it? says it's playing. But I'm not hearing it. All right, for some reason, I'm not hearing the close music. So we will dispense with that tonight, and we'll do just a regular old close. You as well, Ron. Always a pleasure, buddy. I look forward to seeing you next year. Sorry I missed you this year. Nice. Thank you, everybody. All right. My name is Mike Avery. The music. Yeah. Did you hear it? I didn't hear it. It is jamming. Oh. Okay. Why am I not hearing it? Let me try it again. I'd love to hear it. If it's jamming, then it's probably too loud. Oh, there it is. Thank you, my friends, for letting me know. All right. This is Wednesday Night Live. My name is Mike Avery. Music was there. It's still there now, isn't it? MikeAveryOutdoors.com is the website. My email address is mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com. Have a good night, my friends. We'll see you next time. Thanks for joining me on Wednesday Night Live. Time for something more now.